let's get back to Trump. He's the biggest newsmaker, isn't he? And he's talked about, a new tariff probe into U.S. copper imports. He's cited national security grounds. He's talked about advisors thinking that China is going to aim to dominate the copper market. So let's try and understand what could be the repercussions of this move if implemented. We've got Peter Maguire joining in on the show right now. Peter, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show as always. Can't predict which way Trump is going to go, but just his views on copper and, the China angle here, what do you think that's going to entail?
Well, good morning, Ayesha. I think that confusion naturally comes across the market when President Trump comes out with a statement like this, because it really creates, I think, a lot of turbulence. It creates uncertainty, and that's what the market doesn't want. And then we go to the next part as far as where is he going to import the copper from? What's his strategy going to be? It's very much sided on China, and to really create an economic powerhouse internally, that's going to be copper production. So I think that that's what President Trump's mantra is all about. And I've listened to Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, and it's very much that's the part of the plan, I would say.
So if Donald Trump is imposing tariffs, that means the copper demand should be going lower. Why have underlying spot market prices gone higher? Am I missing on something?
Well, it's a very good question, Nikunj. I mean, we're still sitting at 9,400 a metric ton. If you're looking at the LME, it's had a bit of a run up over the last couple of weeks. I would say that the market hasn't digested it. It's still uncertainty as far as where we see price, and that that explanation as far as the true essence of what a market is, and that is going to be demand and supply, and if there's going to be any interruptions, and the futures market really dictates that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the prices are on the CME, and of course what happens with LME prices over the next day or two.
So Peter, from a commodity market standpoint, which is what you track, whatever US president is trying to do, protect America, make America great, we understand the spirit here, but that could come at a cost of tariffs, that could come at a cost of inflation. So what is looking good for America? Is that bad for the world, and is that bad for global demand?
Well, I don't know whether it's bad for America. That's the first part of it, because I feel as though that President Trump wants to change the footprint as far as many internal mechanisms across, and that's been represented by his DOGE initiatives through Elon Musk. So there's the first part. The second one is what's his agenda going to be globally as far as export-driven economy, and whether he wants to become an economic and an energy power base. And that's going to be demonstrated with the likes of production with LNG, with increasing production with crude oil, and naturally with a lot of these base metals, and copper takes the lead on that, Nikunj. So the chance as far as tariffs, what the impact's going to be there again got to be worked through the market, and whether we're going to see 10%, 20%, what's the number going to officially be, and when's it going to be introduced? So it's still fairly opaque, but that's the issue with these markets. There doesn't seem to be a lot of transparency with President Trump at the present time.
So what's the view then on the Treasury as well as the dollar index then? Because we've seen the yield in the US fall for a sixth consecutive day, but the dollar index continues to hold up.
Absolutely, up 4.26, Ayesha, for the 10-year yield. So that's, again, as it's been crunched down, and there it is on the screen. VIX is up. It's up the best part of 30% since mid-February. So that's a 2-week window, about 13 days, and it's just hugely bid up. And then you're looking at US dollar index back at that 106.50, sort of 106.40. It's been crunched down. And what's the storyline going to be as far as inflation moving forward and rate cut policy? So all of those factors naturally, and bond yields, go into determining, US dollar index.
All right, Peter, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. And this time you're going to win the match, my friend. Champions Trophy is ours. Last time Australia got it. Doesn't matter.
Thank you, Nikunj. Well, you deserved it.
Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.